Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine, and I am a domestic violence advocate at San Francisco Asian Women's Shelter. Today, I will be talking to you guys about Know Your Finance series, and we'll be talking about budgeting and savings goals. So, hope you guys will enjoy it. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So something to keep in mind is, what does wealth mean to you? And let's just take a moment right now and just, couple minutes to yourself. Like, if you want, you can take out a notebook, you can think about it in your head. But yeah, just think about it. What does wealth mean to you? Okay. And so fast forward a little bit into, let's just say 5 minutes, and probably, you already have in your mind what wealth means to you. So when you Google wealth on, you know, the internet, it will say abundance of valuable possession or money, the state of being rich, material prosperity, plentiful supplies of a particular resource. You can also modify the stroke, its color, thickness, or type. All definitions were found on Google. But as you can see, based on your value as an individual, wealth is really symbolic. So it has a symbolic meaning to each individual based on your personal value. So before we go on to the budgeting, I just want you to take a moment to just think, what are your values when you think about wealth? Because what it means to one person can be different for another person. And maybe if it's helpful, you can write it down in a notebook, or, or just keep it, the idea in your head. What are some values important to you, and what does that translate to wealth? So I'll take a little bit moment, and then we'll fast forward to budgeting. So when we think about budgeting, it is really important because you have the full control over your money. And having control of your money allows you to not overspend. When you budget, you know that your money allows you to spend on a certain amount of things. And you don't want to overspend either, because then you'll run out of money, or you may not be able to pay certain expenses that are part of your bills, part of your utility, part of your food essential needs. So it's very good to budget, because it's very easy to run out of money or even go into debt when you don't know how much money you're earning, how much money you are spending, and how much money you actually need to save. So we will be talking about this more in the next couple slides. Some tips for beginning how to budget is, first, one, identify your needs and your wants. Create a plan, set a budget, and limit your spending. Ways to increase your income: having a savings account. Okay. Before we go on to the next slide, I want to emphasize, some people, just like a tip, but based on your, value and your needs and your wants and saving, it's going to be different for everybody. One thing I learned in the past is people were not were, but people actually, when you search it up and everything, there is a 50-30-20 rule. So what it is when you earn your income and the tax is deducted from the gross income already. So you're getting that paycheck that the gross is already taken off. And then what you want to do is identify 50% is going to be your essential needs, everything you need to pay, like rent, pay phone bill, pay utilities, etc., everything that is essential to you. Then 30%, I believe, will go into 30% will go into 30% will go into what you want. I believe is what you want to buy, like or go to the movies or things that, to enjoy yourself, entertainment, etc. And then 20% is to saving. So that is like your rainy day emergency fund that you save up. Um, but based on everyone's value, everyone has different stories, have different depth. So please just be kind to yourself and just understand where you are. You're doing your best to, navigate this financial journey. So as long as you're making little steps and every day, I think it just makes sense what fits your lifestyle and what fits your uh, budgeting in terms of the needs, the wants, and the savings. This is an example of a weekly expense tracker. You can track it any way you would like to track it, in the sense of if you want to, use paper and you want to track it. This is just example so you can kind of see. You can also, if you have an iPad, you're more like electronic based, you can also do it on an iPad, any template, anything that works for you. This is just an example. And because it's so hard to earn money, you want to know where your money is going. And another recommendation is actually if you are actually using your cards, it might be easy to swipe. So actually recommend it if you have cash and use it. But I know a lot of people actually don't really use that much cash and use the card. If you use the card, I think keep receipts so that kind of you want to keep track of your budget. And also this method will also help you in keeping track of your receipts. I know there's another app, I believe it's called Mint Mobile or Mint app. That app also helps you track your expenses, or like it analyzes also like where you use certain money. So anyways, back to the weekly expense tracker. So on this tracker, what you can do is, okay, on Monday, and I'll show you an example as we go, but you can see like on different days, you use different items. And then by the end of the week, you will Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At the end of the week, you will have like your spending total. So next we'll go to the example so you can kind of see this method used. So an example of a weekly tracking expense. On Monday, I bought a Clipper card for transportation, which is $81. On Tuesday, I bought groceries for a household of two, which is me and my daughter. So that's $100. On Wednesday, detergent is $10. On Thursday, laundry for clothes, blankets, and pillows was $10. And then Friday, food takeout was $35. And Saturday, school supplies for my child was $15. And on Sunday, toothpaste is $5. So total is $256 for that weekly tracker expense. Okay, I will pause there, and I hope you guys enjoy this weekly tracker expense. Before I move on to the next one, yes, before I move on to the next one, wait, oops, sorry. Before I move on to the next one, smart goals, smart goals. Okay, so smart goals. Okay. Yes, sorry about that. Before I move on to the next one, let's just take a moment to look at this weekly tracker tracking expense. And then as you go to here, another method you can use to help you budget your saving goals is actually called the SMART goal. So each letter of the SMART goal actually represent certain things. So for example, S is specific, like does it answer what, who, why, where? M is like measurable. How will you measure if the goal has been achieved? A is achievable. Is it possible? Do you have the skills and resources to accomplish it? And relevant, is it worthwhile? Is the time right for your goal? And time bound, will you complete it? Does it create a practical sense of urgency? So we're gonna use this as a template of using the SMART goals, and I'll also show you guys an example after this. But first, as we look on the left side, the shorter goals, you can think of that's like from 1 to 3 months. Midterm goals is from 6 months to 1 year, and long-term goals is from 1 year to 3 years. But like you can see, the template says 3 years and out. So yeah, so longer goals is like 3 years and out. So as you look on the right side, you see that it has my next saving goal is da 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 da, right? So you can put in your saving goals to that. And then your specific is when you're thinking is what are you saving for? How would it cost? The more specific, the better. Measurable is how will you achieve this goal and how will you measure the success? Achievable is what actions will you take to achieve this goal? So realistic is it realistic? Is it not realistic? And time bound is when do you want to finish it? And what is your kind of goal completion date you want to finish it? So this is an example I use for the SMART goal, for my own saving goal. So on the left side, you can see my short-term goal from 1 to 3 months. I want to save for a family vacation in SoCal. My midterm goal is that I want to save and take my family to Great America. And my long-term goal is that I want to start a small business in creating a let me see, creating let's just say I want to create a small business of making cake pops. Okay, let's say that. Then when we look to the right side, my next saving goal is, so this is like kind of diving more deeper, more specific into each of the goals. So this model helps you like kind of brainstorm and kind of like dive and dissect into your certain goals. So the specific part is if I want to go to a SoCal, this was what I used back in 2023. So I would actually, for gas and parking, $500. Food, $500. Airbnb, $500. So my goal is I want to save 1,500. And for 3 months, I can do that. And how? Well, I need to eat out less, cut out on boba, no shopping unless necessary. And is this realistic? Yes. So by the end of February of that date, I did in fact reach that. So I hope this example kind of helps you in um, using it for your own saving goals and hope that also helps you. Yeah. Another example of budgeting with the $1,000 biweekly check is, let's say, $500 room for rent, $200 grocery for 2 weeks, and $100 is for phone bills. So $40 for laundry, $60 for children after school program, field trip to Great America, and $50 is eating out to celebrate my child's birthday. And then on $50 is in savings account, savings in my bank account. So the total I have to use for my essential needs is 950, and then the savings that I get to put based on the leftover of my essential expenses of the 1,000 is $50. So $50 will go into my savings account. Now we're going to do an activity called the rainy day fund, rainy day savings. What is a rainy day savings? So a rainy day saving is when you have an account that can help you cover any short-term problems that arises. Similar to an emergency fund, which can help cover big issues like job loss, illness, a rainy day helps you pay for smaller expenses at a one-time inconvenience. By learning how to save money, it makes it easier to face unexpected expenses. So I can think of example as like, okay, so if you have emergency that comes up, like let's say if you drive, you need to bring your car to the shop, or you have a dog or a cat and you need to go to the vet. It's good to have these kind of emergency funding just so that when you need to tap into those money, you have that resource. So I also recommend that if you have a high yield save account, or if you don't have a high yield saving account, it's actually good to have one and actually put a portion of it into your high yield saving account so that it grows over time. I'm saying this because if you're putting it in a traditional saving bank account, it's not going to grow. So it's no benefit of that other than it just stays exactly the same. But when you put it into high yield, it does grow over time. So that's what I would recommend. And there is many different ones you can explore. But yeah, just wanted to say that. So now we're going to go into a scenario. And you can imagine, if you want to write down a notebook or you want to just, you know, keep it in your head, you can too. So you have $200 and you are really hungry. Do you buy a meal for $30 or do you buy $30 worth of groceries to cook for meals that will last for 3 days? Okay, so day two, you are running for work. Do you walk 2 miles or do you spend $2 on a bus ticket or take an Uber for $15? So, based on what you did for day one, use the remaining amount, subtract that from $200, and then take that and do that for day two, whether you spend $2 or whether you spend 15. So, based on that, deduct that from day one's amount. After that, day three. So new shoes, on brand or off brand. So again, this is based on really your value, right? Like based on your value, you will make certain decisions on what you would purchase. So, okay, you're walking to school and your shoe ripped. Will you buy a $30 brand shoe or are you going to buy $60 pair of Nike shoes that are on sale? So based on your remaining amount on day two, then you will do day three. And then you will subtract based on your choice whether you want to get off-brand shoe or Nike shoe. Some things you might think about is if you get an off-brand shoe, it could break, faster because the quality is not that good. Or you're investing in a better quality shoe that has a brand name that potentially it will last longer. So it really is based on your value and your perspective of what is going to be best fit based on your finance and your lifestyle. Okay, so let me stop sharing screen. Sorry about that. Okay, so that is our finance budgeting with Catherine at SFAWS. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something, had fun, and hope to see you next time. Bye.